Karyn Reece Show. I'm psychic medium Karyn Reece with my wonderful co-host Alexa Zappia.
Hello, hello. How are you?
Having fun, never stop. How about you? You look like you're up to no good.
Having fun never stops. Came back from Florida a little sunburnt, but that's okay.
Just a tad.
Just hence
good,
the red awkward tan lines, but that's okay. Tan lines, burn
Somebody
lines.
got color, yes.
So anyway, something I thought was interesting to talk about actually came up in an Instagram live that we do. And it was the difference between past lives and reincarnation. So is a past life and reincarnation just a synonym for one another, or are they different?
Well, past lives are when you've lived in a past life. Reincarnation is when you're going to come back again into the future life. So we've all had past lives and we're all going to be reincarnated. And
When do you decide to reincarnate?
once you die and then you connect with your loved ones, then you'll sit down and take a look at, when you want to come back into whatever, whether it's Earth or some other plane of existence. But typically, my experience, most people don't reincarnate right away.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, so, usually they'll take a while. Usually, they may wait for a son, a daughter, or whatever before people reincarnate, maybe 30 years. Very seldom do people ever reincarnate right away.
Is that because you're waiting for your loved ones?
Typically speaking, yeah. And usually you just need a little time out, and you also want to take a look, do I want to come back in this time zone, or do I want to wait maybe another 50 years where, we have flying cars as an example, like the Jetsons. They were onto something, yes.
I love that. So when you die, obviously you go on to the other side, but can you, I don't know if I'm going to phrase this correctly, but can you die again? Can you die once you're on the other side, or is that
You can die laughing in terms of what you come into. This is all.
Yeah.
I'm seeing, my ex-husband or whatever, but no, you're a spiritual being, and the physical life that you live, and when you pass out of your physical, you're dying from your physical world. Your true core is a spirit, and when you're in that realm, you're truly who you are. The chances of you dying is impossible.
Oh,
yeah. So your core, yes, and then you come into life, and then into the physical realms, and then when you pass out, that's when you leave your physical behind and you die. But you really don't die. There's no such thing as death.
Right. I was going to say, really, what is that?
Yeah, exactly.
Life after life. That we should start saying that now, because that's a good point.
It is true. Yeah.
So when you're on the other side, are you able to see your past lives? How do you know that you've gone through past life?
Well, that's a great question. There's the Akashic Records, which it's this big library. It looks like a Grecian temple, tons of stairs. You walk in, you can see, floors all above. You walk into the center and you see tons and tons of books. Every person has one book. Each book has a chapter of every life you've lived. So you can access that in your dream state or in a meditation or through a psychic like myself, hypnosis, whatever, and you can look at your past lives through this book. So in this lifetime, this is, Alexa's chapter, and you'll see all your good deeds, your bad deeds, and all of the above, your intentions, your bad intentions, because it's always about intention. And how did you treat others? How, what inroads did you make? Did you leave this world a better place than when you came into it, and so on and so forth? Are you a better cook? Well, that might be debatable.
Nope. I want to try. I told my mom I want to start trying. So she said every Sunday, because I always watch the Bills games at her house and stuff like that on Sundays, that we will make one thing, and she will teach me how to make one thing. We'll see where that lands.
Your mother's an incredible cook.
She is, so I feel like it's more like she will start doing it, and then I will just eat what she has, but we'll see if I will actually pick up her skills. I feel like that's impossible, because she's that good in the kitchen.
Oh, she's amazing.
But anyway, but thank you for that. That was really insightful. And we'll be back for more from the Karyn Reece Show. Welcome back to the Karyn Reece Show. We are so excited to have our next guest with us. His name is Andy Alberth. He's the CEO and founder of SportsCon, and he's here with us today. So Andy, welcome to the show. How are you?
I'm doing good. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely.
Trust me, it's our pleasure. So anyways, can you tell our audience exactly, what your brand is, what your store, what your business is all about?
Yeah, it started as a sports convention. It started actually as a fantasy football convention. It's kind of grown into a multi-sport convention where you can meet athletes. And it's built kind of like Comic-Con, but it's a little bit different. Instead of meeting your favorite superheroes like Iron Man and Chewbacca or Jon Snow, you can come there and meet your favorite sports players, and you can come catch footballs from Patrick Mahomes, get in the batting cages with Pete Rose, the all-time hitter in baseball history. You can play basketball, and it's not all boys or guys. We have women's basketball. We have Nancy Lieberman. She's like the godmother of basketball. So she comes and does camp. Dr. Jen Walters, the first female football coach in NFL history. She comes and does a kids camp as well. So it's for all ages and all people to be able to kind of come together to either learn sports, want to meet their favorite athletes, or just kind of take pictures, learn anything you can from these guys. And it's just the interaction that you don't get when you go to a sporting event. And it's kind of morphed into, we do a lot of marketing now. So we get athletes marketing deals too, in this sense. And we're working on a kids football camp thing where they're actually able to contact professional athletes in multiple sports, not just football, but to be able to call them and ask them or go through a training session online. So there's a lot of different webs of what SportsCon is kind of growing into.
So talk about celebrities. Who was actually the hardest celebrity to recruit, and how did you eventually get them to do this with you?
Well, back when we had the fantasy football convention, you got to get unique and different because you have a budget. So guys like Odell Beckham, I really wanted 5 years ago. He's one of the biggest guys. So he wasn't going to take the low offer we had. So I was trying to a lot of the guys will get him another deal to come, whether it's a signing up, come sign for another thing. They'll make more than double the money they would have get ours, but then they're making 3 times as much to come now. But for Odell, I went and got his 2 best friends, Jarvis Landry and Stephen Ridley, that played at LSU with him that are in the NFL. I've noticed 2 of these guys, they get the thing called FOMO, fear of missing out. It's kind of, you bring their best friends there, just a bunch of other NFL guys there that they're friends with. Now he's going to kind of want to come to the thing, things like that. So you got to get creative. I think Giannis I wanted him 2 years ago. I was going after his brothers. He's got now 3 other brothers in the NBA, but at the time was 2. So I was trying to get them to come. I'm sure they don't get many paying opportunities. One here played at the Mavericks here locally, so we went after him. And it was kind of a goal to get Giannis. And now he's probably untouchable after winning the MVP in the NBA Finals. But he's always been a guy I've always wanted. I've liked his career, how he's come from nothing. I'm actually reading his book right now, and it's really amazing.
Wow.
Honest to God. Well, that brings another point, because what you've done and what you've created is so unique. So how did you deal with adversity and the doubters?
There was a lot of those, because if you do the research, if you can Google it, we had the National Fantasy Football Convention. We were 3-4 weeks away from having our first one in Las Vegas. And then the NFL came down, and I think they thought we were going to be a lot smaller than we were. And then they realized how big the roster got. We had 25 of the biggest names in the NFL, Vegas, and then they said we were connected to a casino. We were at the Sands Expo, kids entrance, no gambling, and they threatened to fine and suspend any player that showed up. But they also do NFL commercials at those places. So it was very two-sided. I think they realized how big we were, and they weren't getting a cut of it. So we ended up having to sue the NFL and go through litigation. We're the first company to get a restraining order against them. So this happened for 2 years. So 2 years of having to cancel the convention because of dealing with them was hard. A lot of people didn't think we would have it. And then we brought it to Dallas instead of doing Vegas or California. And then we had a first one, and it went really good. And then we had our second one, third one, and then SportsCon kind of bloomed from there.
Beautiful.
Wow.
Good for you. And
Yeah.
it's like, the Goliath and David story.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's
kind of-
overcame it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So what does the future look like for SportsCon? And can you give our audience just a little sneak peek as to what's to come for you?
Yeah. We're always trying to find new things. We plan on bringing wrestling this year, and we found a really good production team that does wrestling. And they ask for a lot of space where they come running from the ring. They do a lot of it. So we had live boxing for the last SportsCon, and I was blown away how many fans just sat there and watched it, live boxing with literally no boxers you've never heard of. These are local, whether they're kids, we had kids from adults. So just seeing that was really cool. So we're always trying to find new things. We have the video games, we got basketball courts, we have batting cages, football field, wrestling rings, all those type of things. We're going to bring in dunk contests this year. We're going to working on a new virtual reality idea that we're working on as well. We do this military bowl where it's flag football, but they bring the best of the best. So it's Army versus Navy, Air Force versus Marines, and then the winners play on Sunday for the championship. But what's different about it's 5-on-5. The quarterbacks are NFL quarterbacks, quarterbacking for them. So we had Johnny Manziel versus Vince Young, which are huge Texas legend quarterbacks here in college. So then we also have coaches, are the NFL coaches. We'll bring players to coach it. And then we actually have the referees are NFL players as well. So it's really cool and they really like it. And it's very competitive. It's kind of become our main event. And our last event comes Sunday.
That's really cool.
Interesting. Such a variety too. And just fun. I can only imagine, with all the diversity and all the changes and all what have you. Speaking of which, so if our audience would like to get a hold of you or find out more about SportsCon, where can they access that information?
Yeah, they can follow us on social media or they can go to the website, gosportscon.com, or our social media handles are all Go SportsCon. And if you want to follow, it's also Andy Alberth on all of the social media handles.
Awesome. Andy, thank you so much for joining us. This was such a pleasure to have you. And hopefully maybe you'll bring SportsCon to Buffalo. Who knows?
Guys there.
Awesome. Andy, thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Welcome back to the Karyn Reece Show. As always, anytime Karyn's around, spirit's around. So if you would like to hear about your future or hear from your past loved ones, you may do so by entering on our website at www.karynreece.com, spelled KarynReece.com. You can also visit her on Facebook at Karyn Reece Psychic Medium or on Instagram and on Twitter at Karyn Reece. You can also visit her on TikTok at Karyn Reece and the number 1, or you can send her an email, Karyn, Karyn, and then the little @, KarynReece.com. In your submission, please make sure you put your first and last name, phone number, email address, and why you deserve to win a reading. So today we have a very lucky winner with us who wrote to us on Instagram. Karlee, welcome to the show. How are you?
Hi, good. How are you guys?
Good, good. Karyn, take it away.
Hey, I just saw a man standing next to you. Are you dating somebody right now or somebody's trying to date you?
I'm not dating anyone.
Good, because somebody wants, but it's not the man that I'm talking about. This is just somebody who's, I would call him a filler inner type of personality, somebody that's Mr. Right for right now, because I see a gentleman, he wants to talk to you, wants to meet you. He's got dark hair too, by the way. Actually, he's got a dark face too, just as an FYI. So it looks like you're starting to get out there, or you're about to start to get out there and start meeting and, mingling and jingling again. The other thing is I keep seeing like a lot of cocktail parties ahead into the future too. Your grandparents are laughing about this too. They're saying you have a whole life ahead of you. So keep that in mind.
Okay.
I just heard the name Mike too, a Michael connection. Is that a family member?
Michael? That's my brother's middle name.
Oh, that, you know what? I couldn't hear them saying, I'm like, it's got to either be your father or your brother, because they said it so fast. So they probably said his first name. I couldn't hear him yet. But I also saw you with your brother at a cocktail party into the future. I keep going to California with you. You're going to make some very interesting connections into California, some very powerful people coming up into your future. So, and I think this is going to also jump your career a little bit, or your career's going to also jump you in. It's like, which came first, the chicken or the egg? So all of it keeps coming up. The other one thing I want to mention too, I keep seeing a trip to Australia. Have you ever wanted to go to Australia?
I've wanted to go. Yeah, I haven't been though.
Yeah, your grandma said you'll go at the right time in the right way. So that should be interesting. And then I see you looking at New Zealand. So you'll probably do Australia, and since you're near enough or close enough, 8 hours away or whatever it is, you'll go from, so Queens Landing to, what have you. But this year coming up, I saw you be more introspective, like I'm meditating a little bit more. I'm thinking a little bit more. Have you been meditating? Because I see that around you.
Yeah.
And you do hear your family on the other side, but you'll hear them in your frame of reference. So if you say, Grandpa, should I take this off? Or you'll hear in your head, the answer, yes or no. But you'll think it's you, but it's them telepathically communicating with you.
Yeah.
The sky's the limit in your future. Karlee, I really love what I see. And I keep seeing this gentleman, and I'm telling you, this guy has a really big, actually, he's really important in your life. He's very successful. He's going to be head over heels in love with you.
Okay.
I see you sort of backing away like, okay, I'm a little nervous about this, but he actually has a very big piece of property. And it looks like he has stalls for horses, or has a couple of horses, like a little, riding thingy dingy going on. Very manly, this gentleman. Grandma's giving me thumbs up.
Okay.
I heard the name Sam, just so you know, Sam. So I think it connects with him, by the way. So he may be connected because that name comes up around him. But I definitely see this gentleman in your future. And when you meet him, you're going to feel like you've always known him. He's a little older too, but I like him. He's very successful. So you're going to have an option. This guy's, I don't think you're going to marry him, but God, I would marry him. He's got some they head over heels in love with you. And I see you getting a little nervous, but I'll tell you, this guy's a good guy.
Okay.
I don't know when you're going to meet him, but I really like him and he's going to really, really like you.
Okay.
Love that. So just keep that in mind. But it's like connection with the horses, and I'm looking at a really nice. He just likes horse riding or polo or that type of thing, or horses jumping over their little fences or whatever they're doing. So my eye on that. Also, I just heard the name Amy or Jamie. Is that a friend of yours or your mom's? Who's got that?
Amy, I have a cousin named Amy.
Are you close to Amy? No.
Pretty close, fairly close.
You should call her. Yeah, because I heard you saying something, Amy, and into the future about this gentleman and horses, and Grandma says you should give Amy a call. So,
Okay.
yeah, actually, you and Amy were sisters in a past life too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, yeah. And I see both of you celebrating as you go through your life with your milestones, weddings, babies, all of the above. So, FYI on that. So,
Okay.
actually, and at some point, you and Amy will both travel to California. You'll like take a trip together.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Do you like California? Because you got California all around you. It's going to pull.
I do. I've been there. Yeah, I've been there a few times. My brother used to live there, actually.
Oh, no wonder why I feel it. Because I felt, and she said something about living there. So I thought she was talking about you, but it was your brother that used to live there. But you're still, yeah, but you're still going back and forth to California. I love California. So you're going to do a lot of California.
I think like my parents, I feel like my parents would maybe get a place in Palm Springs or something. Like they love California too. So it might be like that too.
Yeah, but I see you around LA a lot, Westwood, LA, into that area. So I keep getting pulled. But the gentleman is in California, has strong ties to California. So it's like, I don't want to say like a ranch or something, but he may be more in the northern territories or have ties, but you're going to be drawn to that too. Do you like to ride bikes a lot? Are you a bicyclist at all?
I do. Yeah. I like spin bikes and like biking outside too.
Yeah, I saw you biking a lot. And that's to give you like a lot of like relief. And your grandmother says, I should do that too. So
that's funny. Yeah. I literally bike every day, like on the spin bike.
Oh God, that's funny. Yeah, she says she does her biking all the time. She's
Yeah.
always biking. I saw you outside and I did see you spinning. She's laughing about that. But it looks like at some point down the road too, you'll be an aggressive biker. So you might be doing something with other bikers. Something maybe like you're gonna bike 6 miles or something that you would do with a group of people, some kind of bike run. So, and you'll do to say, or raise money for different causes. So you'll do like metal to the pedal type of regular biking. So I love what I see. I saw you looking at astrology, kind of snipping and snooping around that. So it looks like you'll start to get a little bit more tied into astrology. Do you like astrology? I love it. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, because I see you saying, oh my God, I'm going to start to study it more. Oh my God, the moon's in Gemini, no wonder why I'm, whatever. And over time, you'll become, quite proficient with it. So looks very good with what you're doing. And you're going to eventually move from where you're at, by the way.
Okay.
Yeah. And it looks like you're going to end up eventually looking at California yourself. So yeah, I saw you packing your bag. So it looks like, your brother came back. Now you're going back down. So, it's got your name on it. Big letters. Yes, it has your name on it. So also, who's like a Rachel? Is that a friend of yours? Or Rachel, one of your best friends? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because she said when you and Rachel, because I know when you and your girlfriend Rachel get together, you just have a lot of fun. Basically, she's stalking you is what she's saying.
I love it.
Keep it clean, Grandpa said. Keep it clean. And he's laughing. And they said to tell you anytime that, hang on, Grandpa, you think of them, what you're really doing is you're picking them up intuitively, telepathically, that they're with you.
Yeah.
Who's the Dave connection? Did you have an Uncle Dave? Who's the Dave? David? Or Davidson?
My cousin just got engaged to a David yesterday.
Oh, that's the Dave. Yeah, tell your cousin. Yeah, they said, we like Dave. I go, who the hell is Dave?
Really? Oh, that's cool.
Yes, so tell your cousin Dave's got thumbs up.
Okay.
So, yeah, your grandparents never miss a beat. And that's your evidence from, what they just said. We like Dave. Were you just looking at their pictures too, or some family pictures?
Pretty recently, yeah.
Yeah, because your grandmother said she was just looking at some family photos, some really good. And I saw you get sort of like, kind of touched, like really my heart, So, by the way, who's Bob or Rob? Was that a friend of your uncle's?
Bob, I have an Uncle Bob.
Still living though, correct?
Still living, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, because your uncle kept saying an Uncle Bob. You haven't talked to your Uncle Bob in a bit? No?
Not in a little bit, no. My parents were just there visiting with him last night, though.
That's why your uncle's telling about it, because he was there too.
Oh, interesting.
Everybody knows everybody. He goes, no, your uncle. He said, yeah, tell your parents, let them know I was there. I had a good time at
Wow.
Bob's house. So you call your uncle, tell him it's haunted with your other uncle.
That's so funny. Oh my gosh.
He kept saying, no. He goes, I see what goes on. And he had a good time. He goes, your parents are incredible. And they really are. You have a really good family. One last thing too. I just saw you camping. Do you like camping?
I do, yep.
You don't strike me as a camper. You need
I
to
love
camp at
camping.
Hilton. That's what your uncle said. I was camping. I go, you're kidding me. Yeah, I saw you camping with your friends and doing a lot of fun activities, but not like super hardcore. At least you have a cabin with some running water.
Okay, nice. Yes. Oh, I love that.
Yeah, bugs are not the place to go on the ground. You don't want those creepy crawlers crawling in.
Yes, no, definitely not.
We personally camp at the Hilton.
It's true.
Oh, that is nice. Yes.
And we hike at the malls. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I'm like, I still can't believe your niece likes to camp because Karyn, she likes to camp. I'm like, really? So anyways, you don't look like the camping type.
That's so funny. Oh my God.
Anyways, I love what I see. You got a great year ahead. Contract. I really like this gentleman. This guy's a good guy.
Yeah.
He's a really good catch. Yeah.
I love it. Well, Karlee, thank you so much for joining us. Hopefully this gave you the peace and the closure that you needed. Karyn, thank you. And Spirit, thank you.
Thanks so much, you guys. I appreciate it.
So. Welcome back to the Karyn and Reece Show. If you would like to connect with Karyn, you may do so by visiting her website at www.karynreece.com, spelled KarynReece.com. On there, you can find out how to book a reading, more about the podcast, TV show, and all other things that she's doing. You can also visit her on Facebook at Karyn Reece Psychic Medium, or on Instagram and on Twitter at Karyn Reece. And she's also on TikTok, so at Karyn Reece and the number 1. You can also send her an email, Karyn, Karyn, and then the little @ KarynReece.com. And you can also call her office phone, 716-580-2520.
Wow. You amaze me when you say that. I just
Thank
have to
you.
say.
It's a lot of running credits that I have to just think of in my head mentally. It's a lot. And then I'm like, you can't mess it up.
You always do a great job.
Thank you.
I could never do that.
Thank you. So that was really insightful about reincarnation and past lives and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. Do you remember your past lives?
Oh God, yeah. And something.
You specifically?
Oh, I do. I
okay.
tell you that. And one thing that will give you a tip off about a past life is if you're drawn to something historical, like a certain period of time, or maybe you might find you have more friends that are different than what you would normally have, but because in a past life, you may have experienced what they're experienced as an example. So that's one way. And the other thing too, when you meet people that you feel you've always known, like you and I mean, we have a lot of parallels, names and all sorts of crazy things like that. You've had a past life connection. You poor honey, you.
I love it though, and I wouldn't have it any other way.
Good answer. Same.
Thank you guys so much for watching this episode of the Karyn and Reece Show, and we'll be back for more next time.